everyone, I'm Janice Lieberman for Steals and Deals. We'll have those stories for you and more. But first, a doctor comes to the rescue of a cancer patient whose insurance company refuses to pay the bill. Mike Salord is here with more. Mike?
Well, thanks, Janice. In the quest to cure cancer, new drugs are continually being developed. Each treatment goes through rigorous testing. If safe and effective, the next step is FDA approval. The question is, when should the insurance company begin paying for these experimental drugs?
Raise your arm just a bit.
Jim Kutzka has lymphoma, cancer of the lymph glands. He was diagnosed 3 years ago. During that time, he was treated on and off with FDA-approved chemotherapy, and it was effective for a while. But about a year ago, his lower body began to swell.
The veins in the pelvic area were being blocked off because of all the tumors, and all this fluid that would normally drain back and forth was building up, and I ultimately gained between 16 and 17 pounds. It was all fluid, and I could hardly walk during that period.
Jim's doctor, Arthur Birkin, turned to the National Cancer Institute. They gave him a drug called fludarabine, and the results were immediate.
It's enabled me to do a lot more than I was doing last year, lead a somewhat normal life. I can get around, I can, even travel a little bit, and, as long as I realize that I do have limitations, that I'm not the person I was 10 years ago.
But the obvious benefits of the drug do not determine whether an insurance company will pay. In this case, Mr. Kutzka's insurer, Metropolitan Life, said no.
Fortunately, with Mr. Kutzka, the drug was free from the NIH, the the National Cancer Institute, and the only person who wasn't being paid was me. And the insurance company seemed to think that that was okay.
The reason Metropolitan Life won't pay for the administration of the drug is because the drug is considered investigational. It has not yet been approved by the FDA. However, Medicare will cover fludarabine because it is listed by the National Cancer Institute as Group C, meaning it's been classified as safe and effective in humans.
If I have a drug or a new combination of old drugs or a new way of administering old drugs that can be used, then I do it. Fortunately, I have partners who feel the same way I do, and if there's a loss, then we'll take it.
To date, it would have been like $12,000 for the year. At this moment, Dr. Birkin is absorbing it because he's more concerned with his patients and with, seeing the results of this drug.
Experts fear that doctors may be reluctant to use treatment that insurance companies won't cover.
By choosing where they're going to pay and what they're going to pay for, that they are making themselves the decision maker in who is going to be treated and what the physician is going to be allowed to use.
Metropolitan Life issued a statement saying, "We have been reviewing our policy with respect to experimental drugs with an eye to broadening coverage. We expect to reach a decision on this issue soon." Dr. Birkin says fludarabine is so successful it's only a matter of time before the FDA will approve it. And Janice, of course, another unanswered question is if insurers start paying for experimental treatments, will our premiums go up?
And that's a big question right here.
It certainly is, yeah.
Okay, much more on this later, I'm sure. Thanks, Mike. And in other news, prices have arisen again at the gas pumps, but this